Hey, it's Carlo Perusa, and today I am with mixed martial artist Mr. Torrez, the Punisher Finney. Torrez, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing today, Carlo? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing better that you're on here. Met you
That's
at your
awesome.
last fight in Savannah at Icon FC 5, and now try to get to know you a little better. So, Torres, first off, in high school, you were a dominant wrestler. 40-0 season. People used to line pack, jam, sellout. I don't even know how to say it. People used to line up for you outside the Macon Coliseum just to watch you wrestle. And then you kind of fooled everyone. You were such a dominant wrestler, and then you played football in college.
Yeah.
So, what went into wrestling? How did you get into it? And what was the decision by picking to choose playing football in college instead of wrestling?
So how you have that kid that everybody thinks they're gonna go D1 in football, and then I at a younger age at the time, as I was just graduating, well, not graduating yet, but the latter parts of my senior year in high school. So I just won a state title. I went to nationals. I got ninth, and I had a lot of different schools looking at me wrestling wise, but my mindset at the time was only on one thing, and that was just trying to play college football. I was a pretty good high school football player. I had led the state of Georgia in sacks my junior year. I had 131 tackles as well as a nose guard. So I was pretty solid, junior and senior year, and we won a lot of games, made it to the Elite Eight. Senior year, we went 9-1 and we lost in the first round set to the eventual state runner-ups, Glenn Academy. But man, I just had a really good football career, and I thought I would, could do that as well in college. So I tried to pursue that more than anything than wrestling, and I had went to North Carolina, I had went to Duke, I had went to what else? Citadel, UTC, and finally I ended up at UTC. And when I got to UTC, I had everywhere I went. I asked them, I said, if y'all offer me, could I also play football? And it was like, well, we're gonna offer you. We're only gonna allow you to do one sport. Because if you and now I know, it's hard to do two sports in college. But man, when I got the chance to do that, Coach Esslinger at UTC, he was like, man, look, if you're gonna do something, I want you to be 100% committed and do it as your best. And he got me in contact with the UTC football coach, even though he was recruiting me for wrestling. And man, it was a blessing in disguise. And look, whatever path I've been on, it was for a purpose. And now looking back, I always say, man, I wish I would have wrestled more in high school. I mean, in college, because now look at what I'm doing. I never thought I'd be fighting MMA, but hey, it's funny how things change. So it was definitely a big time. So I enjoyed it.
Now, how exactly did you make that transition from playing ball in college to get into the world of MMA?
Well, COVID hit. So when COVID hit, it was wild. It was really wild. And out of nowhere, I was hurt. I had torn my ACL in football, and man, I just it was hard for me to get back in time and stuff. So when COVID hit, I was still hurt, and they was talking about what they was going to do with our season. We didn't know if we was going to play or not, and I was just getting off injury. But since we wasn't going to have no season, I was like, man, forget this. So I had started going to a gym, even though they was telling us we can't get out of our dorms, anywhere you go, keep your mask on. But I was sneaking out of my dorms to start going to this gym called the Gogi. And I was going there, doing some of the jiu-jitsu classes, and did some of the kickboxing. Granted, early in the year, I had did a little boxing, even though it wasn't much. It was on like a 2-3 month span of boxing, but it wasn't much. But I had started going to a Gogi, man, and I fell in love with it. And I never forget, we only had one football game at UTC. That was against Western Kentucky. And since we was going to only have one game, I was like, man, I want to do something. And I took an MMA fight. And it was so crazy because we had a football scrimmage. And I had played like over 50 snaps. And I was a little tired. Then our coach made us run sprints at the end because we didn't end it the way he wanted us to end it. Go coach right. But we ran sprints. My teammates like, man, you're gonna be good, Finney. And I'm like, yeah, I should be all right. And I ran back, I showered, got to the gym. My coach took me up to Knoxville, man. We made it in time, and warmed up. I slept all the way to Knoxville, but we warmed up, and I was blessed, man. I walked out there and got an 11-second finish. So I was able to play a football scrimmage and come back and fight later that day. So get the win. So it was beautiful.
So during that scrimmage, did any of the coaching staff know that in about just hours from now you were going to get into the cage and fight a guy?
Only one, my position coach. But I told him, I specifically told him, I said, do not tell anybody else. The players knew, but I told them as well, like, don't. The thing was, I tried to keep that thing under wraps as much as I could, because I actually didn't want my parents to know, because they surely didn't want me to fight. If you would have saw that boxing match earlier in the year, I had took one boxing match. Granted, it was against a guy that had 8 fights. But I wanted to fight, and they couldn't find me a fight. And I said, I'll take anybody. I took him. I lost by decision, but it wasn't beautiful. And I was like, man, I really wanted to do an MMA fight. I took it. I tried to keep it under wraps. The moment that poster came out, I don't know who shared it or what, but it's all over. My mom calling me the week before, you got to fight and you didn't tell us. And my grandparents calling me. It was crazy. And then all the teammates, oh, you're fighting. And I was like, freak, I tried to keep this under wraps. But man, it happened. And yeah, then it was funny because like all the coaches after I won, the following week, they're just like, I heard you had a fight. Good job. They saw the 11-second knockout. So it was good, man. It was good.
Now you go by Torrez the Punisher Finney. You're a pretty likable guy. You're pretty happy, even keel type of guy. The Punisher, where does that nickname come in all this?
Man, the Punisher was given to me when I was in middle school. It was given to me by somebody in the stands when I was wrestling. I was wrestling in 7th grade, and when I was wrestling, man, I would just like, I wouldn't slam, but I would try to pick up the kids and like just put them down. And sometimes I was getting in trouble for that. And one of the parents like, man, you just be out there punishing the kids, Punisher. And just saying it, and I was like, I like that name. And it just stuck with me. And if you can go back all the way to my YouTube videos, like even like 10 years, it's crazy. 10 years ago, like when I was in 7th grade, I named all of my YouTube wrestling matches, the Punisher versus whatever school I'm going against for that wrestler. And man, that was, it's crazy how it works, because that name stuck with me. And now I'm utilizing that name in my MMA career. So yeah, I loved it.
Now let's get into a little bit of your fighting career. The last couple of fights have been on Icon FC. How exactly did you get hooked up with Icon? How did you find yourself with them?
Yeah, man, I got hooked up with Icon through my management, first round management. When I had just got done fighting and I was getting ready to look for another a fight, man. I was really trying to get many fights as I could in a certain span. We were trying to get 3 fights. So it was a real struggle for us to find my second fight. We went through 15 guys and we could not fight anyone. That's the reason why I have that heavyweight fight on my record. And then Icon was able to find me an opponent, and then, I got Justin Dorsey. So that's how I was able to get in contact with Icon. And Ray Horner, he's been a really good manager for me, man. He's helped me out a lot. So he's helped me put me in a lot of really good positions. So I really thank him a lot, and first round management for that.
Knowing that guys like Hamdi, Bo Nickel, SP Dumas is already in the UFC, and they all came from Icon. Does that give you some sort of satisfaction knowing that, hey, these guys got there from there, I can get there as well?
Yes, oh, for sure, man. I've looked at the route that Hamdi had. I looked at the route that SD had. I've looked at the route Bo Nickel. Obviously all of them have their own paths in their way. They all had to go through different things. Heck, Hamdi signed straight up. SD had to go through Contender Series. Bo went through Contender Series not once but twice. So like everybody has their path, man. And I feel like my journey will be similar to theirs in a way, but my goal is to try to get straight into the UFC. Obviously, yeah, the Dana White Contender Series, I feel like I have that, almost on the horizon. But I really would like to just get straight up signed. And the thing is like you look at their past. Icon is in a way like a feeder league. Like those guys go into Icon to get them big time fights. You got eyes all over, especially when you got a guy like Jorge Masvidal, as the header, of the guy, the CEO, the promoter of the entire show. Yeah, he's going to have eyes on it, let alone it's being on UFC Fight Pass, man. You're going to surely get some eyes on you. So it's been a real blessing to be able to fight for Icon.
I first saw you fight in August when you took on Justin Dorsey in Savannah. Walk me through that fight. Walk me through when you were able to pick him up, you were able to slam him, and then from that point to the finish.
Yeah, man. The goal was to go in there, and I felt really confident that my grappling was going to be better than his, even though I know he has a really good wrestling coach, and really good coach in his corner. He used to be the former ATT wrestling coach at the time. I can't think of his name currently, but um, Justin, he was a solid opponent, man, and I just went in there, I just basically took it to him. I'm big on having constant pressure, not ever fighting on my back foot, always keeping my opponent on his, and I put the pressure on him, man. And early on, the moment I saw when I saw that I can shoot on him, I went for the shot. Got the lift, got the takedown, and then my big thing is when I get the takedown, I want to get control because I'm looking for ground and pound stuff. I'm now my jiu-jitsu is really really solid, and I utilize that. I got a submission on the record as well, but the thing is like I'm looking to smash. That's where the Punisher part come in. I'm looking to smash. I just want to smash you the entire time. So that was the thing I was looking for, and I was able to get the job done.
And your last fight was against Ivan Batnich, again in Savannah. Coming in, a lot of people were saying Ivan has the experience. I mean, that's a veteran. That guy's trained at AKA. He's been in Bellator. Did you use a little bit of that as motivation to go in there and have some extra incentive to get the job done?
Yes, the moment he was offered, I was happy about the matchup. I really love the matchup, and what's funny is like I look at his style. So his style, well, not per se his style, but the gym he comes from. All right, I'm big on. I'm a big Habib fan. I'm a big Islam fan. Heck, I'm a big Hazmat fan. Big DC fan. So though, if you want to talk about a style that I would like to emulate, my style after will be those four guys all combined. All right. Thing is, he comes from that gym, and like I'm like, well, I like this because I'm going to do to him what everybody he learns from does to everybody else. And I was able to go in there and do that. And I felt like I should have got to finish quicker in some regards. I felt like I should have. There's some certain things I should have done better, but that's the learning part that comes into it. That's my fourth professional fight. That's in my first pro year. I've only been fighting MMA for 2 years, and like people got to recognize that. Like last year was all AMI year. This year was all pro year, and you're like a lot of people are still an amateur in their second or third year. So, I just been blessed to be able to, really be able to train and understand the game a little bit, and to be able to be the guy that's 5-1 and you're just my second year. He's been a pro for a very long time. I feel like that's a big plus on my end.
And in that fight, you were able to use the takedowns to your advantage. You totally took away his striking. He couldn't do anything. Going into the fight, was that the game plan? And what do you think he was doing? Do you think he was kind of hoping and praying that you were going to get burnt out and tired and try to take you into deep waters and finish you in the third round?
Yes. As I was watching the fight, I felt like, yes, I felt that was the case. I felt like he was depending on me. So a lot of people look at me and they're like, oh, big muscle guy, swole. He does not have cardio. Well, that's the thing, man. People don't understand is that's one of the biggest things I work on. I know I'm strong. I know I have power, but I know I'm explosive. But the thing is, that only means so much if you cannot do it in round 3. If you can only do it in round 1, then it's irrelevant. So and people going to be trying to fight me like, oh, if we get past round 1, we're good. No. That's not the case. That's the reason why I say I'm a big fan of guys like Khabib and Islam, because they can keep that pressure on you rounds 3, 4, and 5. That's the same way I like to fight, because a lot of people don't see a guy like me being able to consistently keep that pressure on you for those entire 5-minute rounds over and over and over. He had to consistently deal with me for 3 5-minute rounds. And I felt great going to the third. I was talking to my coaches, like we remember, like when I was sitting in the corner, I was having a conversation with Coach Matt, going into that third round, and the thing is, there was a lot of different things I really wish I could have done. But yes, the game plan was to go in there and take him down. And, I know if I've watched a lot of film on Ivan, and he did a lot of grappling to everyone else. Like he out-grappled the majority of the opponents he won in the fights he won. And I just knew he couldn't out-grapple me. And a lot of things he did was very similar to what those guys at AKA do. So I was just able to implement my game plan and keep the thing going.
I kind of found it a little funny after the fight. You said you weren't pleased with your performance, even though you dominated the guy. How much of that was you not being able to get an early finish?
That's mainly To be honest, that's mainly what it was. After going back and watching over it again, watching over a lot of different things so far now. Yes, I've went back and watched. I have a different eye on that fight now, but yes, I wasn't too pleased at the during the time because I didn't get a first round finish per se. But as I know, like Coach was saying in the back, like you're not gonna get a first round finish on everyone, and that's okay, as long as I got the finish. But it's a growing method in my eyes, and I saw a lot of really good things from that fight, and it's a lot of things I'm going to add to the fight now. Like that fight was big for me because now it really proves that the stuff we've been doing so far in the gym, it is working, that my cardio was on point, that I was able to go to 3 rounds. I felt good. Last time, I've only went to a decision once in my entire career, and that was an amateur. It was 5 3-minute rounds. And I remember that feeling at the end where I couldn't even feel my hands and my arms. And after that fight with Ivan, I could have went another round. Like I could have went another 2 more. I felt really good. So the thing is like, now I know the progress. Now I'm understanding the growth. Now I'm understanding what I see now. And now what Ivan did is now I won't another person that try to fight like Ivan, they won't be able to make it that far because I won't allow that again. All right. Because there's a lot of different things I've made adjustments to already to fix that in the fight. So I'm ready for I'm ready for anything that's up and coming right now, man. And I'm excited.
You mentioned that you pick up finishes. That's kind of your MO. That's kind of what you're known for. I'm never going to get in the cage. I'm never going to have that opportunity to finish a guy in the cage. So for most of us, tell us, what is that like? What is the feeling that you get when you pick up a big finish?
Well, the feeling I feel like you get is the affirmation, man. It's like, okay, everything we put into the entire fight camp, the entire fight, 8 weeks, we got the job done. We got it finished. Like we went in here, everything we worked on, the game plan, you found a way to get the job done. So when I look at a finish, the way I look at it is there is no doubt. You left no doubt. Out of my non-career fights, with amateur and pro, I've only went to decision once. And even though I went to that decision, I won every round. So like, it's still in my eyes, a finish is you left no doubt. All right. If you go to a decision, it's a maybe. We just saw what happened with Peter Yan. I feel the majority of the world thought Peter Yan won that fight, and he left it to the judges. And now, it left a doubt. And a lot of people say, "Oh, Yan won that fight without no question," but it left doubt. And now, he lost the actual official decision. So you can't leave the stuff to the judges. And I'm big about trying to get that finish, trying to win every round, trying to win every minute. You have to, because it is crucial. It is crucial as the fight continues.
During your last training camp, you had the opportunity to train over with Extreme Couture. Guys like Brad Tavares, guys like Strickland. How was that experience for you, and how much did you learn over there?
Man, I learned a lot from those guys, man. I really did. It was really been a blessing to go there and learn from a guy like Sean Strickland, man. Me and him had some really fun rounds, and guys like Chris Curtis and man, what's the guy named Sadiq. Sadiq is fighting in the PFL 170 $1 million championship. So got a chance to go with him and Brad Tavares, and did a little wrestling stuff with him, and it was really fun, man, to really go with those guys. Got a chance to talk to Eric Nixon, and I got a chance to train with Dewey Cooper. He did a lot of pad work and striking stuff with me, so individually. So it was good, man. I really enjoyed it. And then the main thing is you really see where you are, man. And I felt really confident, man. I'm like, if this is the level, man, I'm close. I'm close, man. I'm close.
So following your fight against Batnich, you went down to ATT. You had the opportunity to go down there with Masvidal, and you're able to train with him and some of the other guys down there. Did he give you any sort of advice?
Yeah, man. It was big to be able to get a chance to train with guys like Jorge. So actually, I had trained with them ATT a little bit prior, before the Ivan fight. I had went to American Top Team, and I had trained there. It was in the last week in August, and that was around the time I was being told that I was about to get ready to fight in October on that Icon card. So I got a chance to do that, and I went and I got a chance to train with guys like Krzysztof Jokic, Joe Stock, Sydney Outlaw, Got a chance to see Jorge and got a chance to just be around all those guys, man, and really get a chance to really train with those guys. And man, it was really awesome, man. And, Solomon was there, Solomon Renfro, so that was really awesome, man. I really enjoyed that, and definitely would like to go back there soon. Might be doing some cross training, probably soon, because right now it's November. Might do something in December or so. So I'm excited.
Now, after the Batnich fight, how long did it take for you to get back into training?
I got back in training the following week. That's the part about my fight so far, man. I've been blessed as I haven't had any injuries. After every fight, I'm training the following week. Is now I'm not training as extensive, like intensive, like as it was, in a fight camp, but I'm still training. I that Monday I did jujitsu. I do it, going hard? No, I rolled. Tuesday I did a 10 rounds. I do what I do, man, just because I love to train. And this is my life. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do to become the best. So um, if this is what I want to do, I want to make sure I make the best of it. And I feel like training every day is a huge advantage. So anytime you get like a 4-week call, 3-week call, you got to be ready. And I will.
Back in the day, guys would do their 3-month fight camp. They'd fight, then they'd chill for 2 or 3 months. Do you think at this stage in MMA, to be a championship fighter, you have to train year round?
Yes, you have to train year round, but you have to be smart about how you utilize that on your body. Training year round doesn't mean you have to spar year round. All right. All that means is like you have to consistently be trying to add to your game 24/7. If that requires jujitsu or rolling, whether that requires doing pad work or strength and conditioning, you have to make sure you are staying in on your game consistently, because if you don't, you will be in trouble. These guys are too high level now. People are starting to understand MMA. People are taking it more seriously. They're treating it more like a sport rather than, oh, well, let me just get up off the sofa and fight. So you have to go in there prepared, and that's the way I treat it. I treat this like it's any other thing. I treat it very similar like I would treat football. I watch film. I study all my opponents. I study every aspect of their game, every single aspect, regardless of whether all the way to their amateur career, all the way to their latest pro fight. Like, I study them, and you can understand the game, and then you pick up some things that they do. Heck, you pick up some things that their opponents do to them. So I'm big on that, man. I treat this very, very seriously, and this is my life.
One thing I really enjoy about watching you fight are your post-fight interviews. I mean, absolute gold. I think you've adopted a catchphrase, if you can smell what the Torrez is cooking. Is that a little paying homage to Mr. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Yes, in a way it is. Yes, because I am a big professional wrestling fan, man. My favorite professional wrestler is The Undertaker. I'm a big Undertaker fan. Now, The Rock, obviously, I love The Rock, and I used to, I used to always like yell in the high school during the hall. I used to always yell "Game Day" very loud, and I was like, man, if I ever got a chance to like get the mic, I'm gonna be like, if you can smell, and I would do it all the time, man, and I used to do that way in high school and middle school before. So I said, after my second amateur fight, I had fought for the title. And I said, if I win this title, I'm grabbing the mic and I'm just going to do it. And I did it, man. And it has stuck with me ever since. So yes, it is. If you can smell what Torrez is cooking, you will, after every Torrez Finney victory, you will hear that now. So yes, sir.
Another aspect of you that's very entertaining are your entrances. I mean, you sometimes just sprint out there. You take that
Yes.
from Frankie Edgar, DC?
Yes, actually, I did take that a little bit from DC, and I also took that from Hosmod as well. Like, for one, I'd be in the back, I'd be even yelling, like, I'm ready to get in there. Like, I am tired of waiting, because when it's fight day, I'll tell you one thing about it fighting so far. Like, so far for me fighting, I've always been on the latter parts of the card. Hey, rightfully so. That's a good thing. But man, I'm ready to go. The moment I walk in, we go through the rules meeting. We can wait around probably about 20 or 30 minutes. But after that, it's time for me to get in the cage, But instead, I have to wait nearly an hour and a half or 2 hours before I even get ready to fight. Because I'm like, man, so I run to the cage. Like, look, people waited long enough. I've waited long enough. Let's go and get this thing going.
So a very interesting thing about you is that you have fought at heavyweight, light heavyweight, and middleweight. And I know there's a crazy story with you in heavyweight. You have one heavyweight fight, And is it true that you had to wear a weight vest just to be able to make heavyweight?
Yes, dude. That was around a whole debacle when we was trying to find me an opponent. So we got in a heavyweight opponent. I say it don't matter, just get me somebody. So we got Jake Zog. And Tennessee would be Tennessee. They had this rule that you can't fight at heavy, you can't skip 2 weight classes. So you would have to fight at 225. All right, they have a 225 weight division, cruiserweight. So I at the time was only weighing 213, 214, and my opponent was weighing at 265. So they said for me to fight him, I have to weigh in over 225. And I'm like, what? This is heavyweight. I should be able to, but you can't have a discrepancy. You can't be 2 weight classes ahead of someone. But heck, you can be as many weight classes below. So it's so crazy. So I had to put on a weight vest. I had a jacket on, or get on a scale, weigh 228. I don't weigh. That was just a heavyweight weight vest. And I get off, and he actually had to cut weight. He had to make the 265 weight limit. So, but yes, I was able to go in there and get that finish as well. So yeah, for the heavyweight.
So the commission knew that you were wearing the weight vest. They literally just see there.
Well, I had on a jacket. So that's the thing at heavyweight. I mean, you can just go in there and wear anything. So like I had on a jacket. So they probably did see it, but they didn't probably care because heck, if you go on that scale and you want to, heck, when Izzy had when he fought Jan, you remember Izzy had a pizza box in his hand. Hey, I mean, look, hey, as long as you go wherever you want to make that decision to go in there and wear on your way, as long as you make weight. I made weight, so even though I had to gain it, I made weight.
So I'm guessing 185, that's going to be your ideal weight. That's where you feel most comfortable at?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yeah, 185 is going to be the weight class that I fight at mainly. I feel like that's a really good weight class for me. It allows me to stay strong. It allows me to stay quick. It's not too draining. Obviously, the weight cut is a weight cut, but it's not too draining. And, man, that's just around where the average guys at 185 fight at, man. They fight around that weight class. So, besides Alex Pereira, who's our champion now, he's he's a little bit bigger than most.
Let's talk about that for a second, man. What were you thinking in that 5th round? I'm like, oh, Izzy's got this. And then, boom.
Dude, I thought Izzy had that fight, man. Izzy had it. He fought smart. I had on my own podcast, I said – Izzy was going to take him down. I said Izzy's going to out-grapple him. And when I said that, I was thinking of the fact that I think Izzy got to finish him on the ground. Not the fact that when Izzy took him down and he didn't finish him, I was saying it to the people I was watching. I said, look, this fight has gotten real interesting now. Not because Izzy is up 2-1 or 3-1. It's because of the fact that he didn't get Pereira out of there when he had him on the ground. And I said, as long as Pereira is on the feet, he has a chance to finish Izzy because of the power. He was walking down Izzy, walking through some of his shots. When you have that type of power to your advantage, that's the equalizer to anything. And, man, congrats to Pereira, man. 3-0 against Izzy. Just can't. Dang, Izzy. Oh.
All right, last question for you, Torrez. Where are you right now in your career? Where's your headset at? And what's next for you? Ideally, where do you want to be fighting next?
Right now, currently my headset is in a really good position. I'm 4-0 as a pro, like I said, in my first career year. Next year, the goal is for sure to make it to a big time promotion, and that is more than likely the UFC. I feel like next year I will be in the UFC, and the next fight currently don't know. Heck, hopefully we try to get a call, but if not, we're gonna try to fight at the beginning of next year, probably late January, early February, something around that time. Get a fight in, and after that, whatever happens, 5-0 is a really good record, especially for middleweights. 5-0, I got a good resume, and see where that takes me, man. Try to get to 5-0, get some really good opponent, finish that person, and then take it on and see if the UFC gives me that call, or I have to wait till the Dana White Contender Series.
Well, Torrez, thank you for your time. I wish nothing but the best for you, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Carlo.